Okay, good evening and welcome to Yeshiva YouTube. Iyun Talina. Today we started talking about Birchas Hanenin, Reish Beis, Simon Reish Beis, 202. We're talking about Peiros Iyun, fruits of the tree. I want to discuss briefly one of the halachas over here, um, halacha Zayin, which talks about Tamarim Shemiyachan Bayad, V'asa Mehem Isa, V'hotz Mehem Garinem, Filo Hachil Nishana Berachasam, V'arach Lehem Bora Pra'etz, V'asov Baracha Me'en Shalosh. Let's say you have dates and you crush them up. You made paste, date pastes, right? Dates are mushy. If you mush them up, you can make some sort of spread, a date spread or something like that. So the correct bracha is borei praetz, and the Ramam adds also jelly, something like jelly or jam, right? The correct bracha is borei praetz. However, he says yesh shalom levaracham shachal, something shahakal, and I believe the way the poskim understand the difference over here, there is a difference between jam and jelly. Jam, you could actually see part of the strawberries. Jelly, you don't see any of the strawberries. So the same thing with the dates. If it's recognizable from the dates itself, that there's dates over here, then you make a bar praise. If it's not recognizable, it turns into shakal. And the same thing with jelly, right? If it's not recognizable that it's strawberries, it just looks like some sort of paste, right? Obviously, if you taste it, you would tell it's strawberry paste. But however, until you taste it, you don't know. So the bracha is shahakal. Now, hard to understand because, again, this is actual date. You just crushed it up, right? But you don't realize that it's dates anymore. So why would you make a shahakal, right? It's the actual pri itself, right? It's the pri itself. It's not. We're not talking about the seeds. We're not talking about the peel. This is the date itself, right? This is the strawberry itself. Why are you making strawberries? Incidentally, you make a hadam on. You don't make ha'etz, but you should make hadam on the jelly, on the jam. You do make a hadam on the jam, but if you're eating it by yourself, you're eating it on bread, then it's tough. You won't make any bracha. So if you just want to taste a little bit, you make a bar adam on the jam, and the jelly you make shahakal. Why is shahakal? So the answer to this question, I think, based on various gemaras, the way I understand it, it has to be nicker, the way the post can talk about it. It's recognizable that it's dates or that it's strawberries. The reason that it's so important is because there's two parts to eating and enjoying food. One part is the visual aspect, and the second part is the sense of tasting. There's two senses involved in enjoying food, right? Seeing and tasting. And the Gemara even says, the Gemara in Yuma says that someone who is blind and eats, he never actually can achieve satisfaction, complete satisfaction from his eating. He'll never be full from his eating. Because even though he could taste the food very well, and if he has tasted numerous foods, or he saw at one point in his life and he knew what the foods looked like, so he'll know what he's eating. He'll taste it. He can identify it with his taste. Nonetheless, it doesn't make a difference. You can identify with your taste. You'll never be satiated. Why not be satiated? Because there's two aspects of enjoying food. There's the gar hanas me'ayim, right? The throat, it tastes good in your throat, in your mouth, and then it tastes good in your stomach. And a person who can't enjoy the visual aspect of food, he can't fully enjoy food. It will never fill him up. That's what the Gemara says. Because, eating is not just a physical act, it's also a metaphysical act. Metaphysical, being filled up is a metaphysical idea, even though we don't like to believe it. We have a neshama, we have a spiritual, metaphysical component to us, and that part is not satisfied if you can't see. So, if you go to famous chefs, maybe they judging, they have these shows, Gordon Ramsay and things like that. They judge half of the presentation, not just on how it tastes, but half of it how it looks. Because a food looking good, that's why there's various different ways to garnish foods, and then they serve desserts in fancy restaurants. They serve it in a fancy way that looks really presentable and looks really nice. Because half of the enjoyment of food is actually the way it looks. Even if it looks terrible, it tastes good. It's just as bad as if it looks good and tastes terrible. Because you don't have that visual aspect, which is even more important in certain regards in current to eating. So here in this halacha, when you have these mashed up dates, a date paste, and you can't identify it as dates, so therefore, even though you can taste it, you'll say, oh, this is dates for sure. But since I don't have the visual aspect where I can enjoy the visual aspect of eating dates, so therefore it loses its complete status as a pri, and therefore you only make shahakal. And the same thing with jam and jelly. If you can't recognize it, if you can't see it, you can't recognize I'm eating strawberries over here. So you lost half of the enjoyment. You make the base bracha with shakal. You don't make the full bracha, but for eitz, which is when you get the complete experience of the fruit of the tree. Hope you enjoyed tonight's share. See you in the next one.